Hello, good evening. It's 10 p.m. in Accra. It's January 21st. This is News at 10 on TV3. We're live from the News Hub at Adisawi Kanda in Accra. And you can also follow our live stream on the internet at 3news.com and on our Facebook page. I'm Stephen Anti. Let's start with the major news highlights of the day. Some security experts have reiterated calls on the state to adequately resource the police to deliver its mandate. The experts were reacting to the killing of a police inspector at Kwabenya. And the Textile, Garment and Leather Manufacturers Association of Ghana is urging government to address challenges confronting the country's textiles industry before thinking about revamping of defunct factories. An executive member of the association, Michael Asari-Abua, believes this will boost the industry and create additional jobs. And about 15 shops and 10 vehicles have been destroyed by fire at Suame magazine in Kumasi Saturday night. Property worth thousands of cedis were set ablaze. Our newly promoted Dreams FC came from behind to beat Accra Hearts of Oak by 2-1 in the finals of Galka's Group 8 tournament at the Cape Coast Stadium. The Phobians took the lead after 12 minutes through Daniel Kodie when his thunderous strike from 30 yards found the back of the net. Those are our major news highlights. Remember, we're streaming live on our Facebook page and on 3news.com. Up next is a big one. Welcome. Now, the police have launched a manhunt for 7 suspects who escaped the Kwabenya police station in the early hours of Sunday, January 21st. The 7, including one Nigerian, escaped when some unidentified armed men attacked the station and shot dead a supervisor and inspector.
The 7 escapees are 34-year-old Nigerian Chibuza Akwabu, Edem Roxon, 32, Prince Ose, 27, Dixon Ofori, 24, Emmanuel Kote, 21, Kofi Dakon, 21, and Atakojo, 20, all Ghanaians. The 7 were part of 13 inmates of the Kwabenya Tommy Hills police station at the time the armed gang stormed the station. The incident occurred in the wee hours of Sunday, January 21. The armed gang, whose number and identity are yet to be known, reportedly attacked the Kwabenya Tommy Hills police station. They shot a supervising inspector who had just arrived at the station on duty tour of the area at close range. The armed gang reportedly opened the cell and freed 7 of the 13 inmates on detention for varying offenses and fled the scene. The inspector was reportedly rushed to the 37 military hospital where he passed on whilst receiving treatment.
The situation is under control and we are doing everything that we can to bring the perpetrators to book, to get them arrested. So for now, we have to assure the people of public that we are doing everything humanly possible to get these suspects arrested and also give the general public the needed security.
This comes just a few days after armed herdsmen ambushed a police military team tasked to enforce a court order against nomadic herdsmen in Asante Achimagogo. So what might be emboldening criminal elements to mount direct attacks on state-assigned security agents?
Right, let's get on to Skype now and speak with Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, Nanaya Akwada, who's joining us now. Good evening, Mr. Akwada. I thank you very much for joining us. It does appear that lawlessness is on the increase. What would you say we're not doing right as a country?
Well, I think that as for lawlessness being on the increase, I cannot speak to that. But I know lawlessness has been
Right. I think we're having streaming challenges connecting through to Nana Akwada. We're hoping that the lines will stabilize so we can continue our discussion. But Nana Akwada is Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. We'll try and reconnect him on Skype so that we can have our conversation. Let's move away from that. Meanwhile, security experts have reiterated calls on the state to adequately resource the police to deliver on its mandate. The experts were reacting to the killing of a police inspector at the Kwabenya police station on Sunday. Here is a report by my colleague Peter Kwao Adato.
The Kwabenya police station is located on the Atomic Dome Road near the School of Nuclear and Allied Science, University of Ghana. It therefore came as a surprise that a gang of armed men could attack and shot an officer, free inmates, and fled without any clue to who the perpetrators are. A close look around suggested a number of shots were fired through the charge office. It was unclear how the criminals executed the crime. So does this call for the security of the police stations?
There is always lessons learned from issues that has happened. We have standard security measures in all police stations. This is one of the few cases that we have witnessed, and we have to review our security station and see how this can be strengthened.
Security experts Adam Bona and Emmanuel Koten are of the view there's the need for a paradigm shift to policing.
It's a wake-up call for us that we need to provide security, like the bulletproof vest. You see our MTCO on the way, they don't even have reflectors and stuff like that. So the state is failing them.
If they had the surveillance systems in place, at least it would have shown us how these people organize themselves to break into the place to free these people. So that even if in the unlikely situation where we don't arrest them, we still will know how they planned it so we can put in measures to stop another situation like that.
For a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Seydou Alidu, handling of information in the media should be checked as it compromises the security of the state.
I think it's not a very good way to go about investigating crime, because sometimes, in most cases, the whole element of confidence and secrecy can help a lot in investigation and also arresting the culprits. But even what should have been put out there were the culprits, those who had committed the crime, so that people will be on the lookout for them and can inform the police when they get them. But you don't rather put the victim of these particular circumstances into the picture when probably mostly his parents or his relatives or his spouse and children are not even informed officially about what is going on. You know, that is not a good sign of respect for people who sacrifice their lives to protect this country.
This is about the fourth police officer who have so far died in line of duty in the first month of 2018, bringing to bear the need to fortify the police to protect society.
All right, let's go back to Skype, to Nana Akwada, Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, who earlier was on Skype. Ms. Akwada, sorry, we lost you. The connection was not too good, and we couldn't continue with our conversation. So yes, I was saying that lawlessness appear to be on the increase, and the basis of my comment is based on recent trends, you know, of armed gangs and groups and individuals having the effrontery to attack state-assigned security agents. And I was asking what you think we're not doing right.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, between 2015 and 2017, there has been seen, of such incidents occurring across the country. I think that this should give the police administration the greatest of signs to review, first of all, the cell system in the country. They should begin to look at the categories of inmates they retain, or in conjunction with the law courts, they have to retain at their cells. They should look at the levels of security that they want to provide at the various cells, and essentially revise the rules of engagement for policemen on duty at such stations where suspects are kept.
When you say, when you say revise the rules of engagement, what exactly are you saying? Are you saying that the police should get tougher? The police should perhaps ditch its police is my friend kind of mantra?
As it stands now, we have seen a lot of times we have people who are suspects of dangerous crimes, suspects of, being nuts within the society, and the courts deem it fit that these people should be kept off the streets until the law courts have cleared them. So when you keep such people behind bars, you must have stringent procedures to maintain them there. Situations where people storm police stations, officers, and get these people out should be a thing of the past, especially when I have indicated to you this is important. So it's important that the police administration looks at it. Look, after one, it demotivates officers. It demotivates the officers. It empowers criminals and irate mobs, and ultimately, it gives a certain sense of a weakened justice system. That must not be the case.
Right. So everybody thinks that it's getting scary, worrying for armed groups to get this kind of boldness to attack police stations. Should the citizens be worried?
Absolutely. The citizens have every cause to worry. I think the IGP should be interested. He should stamp authority, assure Ghanaians that he is going to review the cell system together with the courts, assure the officers and the men that their rules of engagement at such facilities is going to change. They are going to equip them with the necessary firepower and the force to be able to, engage effectively people who attempt to undermine the safety and the security of the public by releasing dangerous suspects into the system.
Do you get the feeling that in the coming years things could get worse, these kinds of events and happenings?
Yes, I have indicated to you, if the police service does not review the system, criminals are going to be emboldened. Irate mob and community members who feel aggrieved at police actions are all going to be emboldened. And this is going to be how they are going to go about it. Because, think about it. We can storm the police station, free suspects, vandalize the place, burn cars, and if possible, torch the police stations and so on, and nothing happens. But when they know that perpetrators will be brought to book, perpetrators will be met with force and fury, people are going to desist from such acts. Aside everything, it has international consequences, which is not good for our democracy and our security. We must look at this in earnest, and we must look at this urgently.
Right. Thank you very much. Nane Akwada is the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. We're grateful for your time, and this is still News at 10. We have more news for you. Welcome back. Now, President Akufo-Addo is in Liberia to attend the inaugural ceremony of the President-elect of the Republic of Liberia, George Weah, which is scheduled to take place on Monday, January 22nd in the capital, Monrovia. The President was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Shirley Ayoko-Boche, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, Minister for National Security, Albert Kandapa, and other government officials. The Speaker of Parliament, Aaron Michael Quay, in accordance with Article 60, Clause 11 of the Constitution, has been sworn in as acting president, as the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, is also on medical leave in the United Kingdom. President Akufo-Addo will return to Ghana on Tuesday, January 23. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. And as we said earlier, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Mike Oquaye, has been sworn in as acting President of the Republic of Ghana following the absence of both President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. President Nana Addo left Ghana Sunday afternoon to Liberia to attend the swearing-in of the Liberian President-elect George Oppong Weah.
Article 60 of the 1992 Constitution says where the President and the Vice President are both unable to perform the functions of the President, the Speaker of Parliament shall perform those functions until the President or the Vice President is able to perform those functions or a new President assumes office, as the case may be. The Speaker, Aaron Mike Oquaye, before his swearing-in, read a statement on the President's departure to Liberia.
In accordance with Article 59 of the Constitution, I write to inform you that I will be traveling outside the country on 21st January 2018 to Monrovia, Liberia, at the invitation of His Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
The first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei Owusu, then took the speakership seat to enable the Speaker, Mike Oquaye, take the presidential oath, which was administered by the Chief Justice, Sophia Ekufo.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will be faithful and true.
That I will be faithful and true.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu argued absence from the country is not the same as not being able to perform his functions as President. Boko Central Member of Parliament Mahama Ayarga addressed the press on the issue.
It is unnecessary to be swearing in the Speaker to act as President during the period when he is actually carrying out the functions of a President, sitting in Liberia, leading a Ghanaian delegation in Liberia. So that is the issue that we are raising, that we should review this practice where a president is actually carrying out the function of a president elsewhere, and then we bring in a speaker to act as a president.
Mr. Speaker, I raised this matter some 3 years ago. I was Mr. Speaker, the deputy went to say that at that time I belonged to another side of the house. So it appears when I raised it, it didn't matter at the time. Today it should matter.
Aaron Mike Oquaye is expected to hold the position for the next 24 hours. The swearing-in of Liberian President-elect is expected to take place on Monday.
And still in Parliament, some minority members have criticised the Office of the President for how it communicated the departure of the Vice President to the United Kingdom for medical leave. They are asking the Presidency to properly inform Ghanaians on such important issues.
The Presidency had promised to be forthcoming with medical information after it broke the news about Vice President Dr. Bawumia's medical status last Friday. An earlier statement on social media pointing to the UK trip was described as fake. The Communications Director, Eugene Ahin, had said an authentic statement would soon be released. The Chief of Staff statement released Saturday morning was signed Friday, January 19, 2018. This raised concerns about whether the Vice President left the country last Friday or whether the date was an error. Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu raised it on the floor of Parliament Sunday.
We can only wish His Excellency the Vice President well. Allah wa ta'ala should grace him with His grace to come back to the office. Mr. Speaker, we are not happy with government communicators at the office of the Presidency.
Other MPs agreed the Presidency could have done better with its communication on such critical issues.
Communication lapse and all that. It is normal for a Vice President to go for a checkup or to be flown out or to go to hospital. To me, you don't need to announce that until it is so critical.
But some MPs on the majority side disagreed.
I have no iota of doubt that the communication that emanated out of the Flagstaff House had been tainted or was not done properly.
For others, this brings to bear the challenges with specialist doctors and equipment in Ghanaian hospitals.
There's no doubt when you go to Ridge, when you go to Legon Hospital, when you go to Kolebu and Tamale Teaching Hospitals, we do have facilities and the level of expertise that can take care of almost what we all suffer from. So some of us were taken aback that the kind of ailment he's suffered was so serious that could not be treated in this country.
But a Deputy Health Minister, Kingsley Abwaje Jedu, disagrees.
We had Ghanaian doctors looking after him on the Thursday and Friday, but they, upon their advice, that he had to seek a medical care outside the country.
And the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Iwa, is cautioning the high rate of youth unemployment in the country could pose as a security threat. He said although the Ghana Living Standard Survey by the Ghana Statistical Service in recent times pegged the country's unemployment rate at as growing between 5 to 12% annually, the reality on the ground is worse.
The Ghana Living Standard Survey for the year 2012 and 2013 by the Statistical Service puts the unemployment rate in the country at a marginally higher rate for females, with 2.0% than males at 1.6%. The statistics also put unemployment at 3.5% at urban areas than in rural areas, which had 0.8%. The survey estimates that out of 250,000 young men and women who graduate from the various tertiary institutions to join the labor market every year, only 2% are absorbed in the formal sector, whilst the 98% seek employment in the informal sector or remain unemployed. The World Bank indicated in its 2016 report on jobs in Ghana that about 48% of the youth in the country between the ages of 15 and 24 years are jobless. At the recent encounter with the press at the Flagstaff House, President Akufo-Addo described the youth unemployment situation as a grim story, which is unfortunate.
The sad scenes that were played out in many parts of the country some weeks ago in all the regional capitals of the country. Young people got up at dawn and formed long queues in stadiums and parks in the hope of getting a job with the Ghana Immigration Service. I know it is not a new story. Some 84,000 people applying for jobs, and over 47,000 of them meeting the minimum requirements as advertised, and the organization only looking for 500 people to hire. Similar scenarios are being played out in all sectors of the public service.
However, questions have been raised as to whether government has a clear idea of the youth unemployment situation in the country. Employment and Labour Relations Minister Ignatius Bafo-Iwa says government is currently embarking on a job impact assessment survey to identify how many jobs have been created.
I totally agree that the situation of youth unemployment in the country is a huge problem. Huge in the sense that we get so many people coming out of school at all the levels of education. And all these people that fall out at all the levels ultimately are potential workers. They are supposed to have jobs to do. Unfortunately, we do not have an economy that is so robust enough to be able to turn out various jobs for such persons. Every action of government, to the best of my knowledge, should end up leading to the creation of jobs. Perhaps what we have not succeeded in doing, and which we are trying to do, is to be able to do what we call job impact assessment, to be able to determine how many jobs are created as a result of this intervention of government. We are in partnership with our international friends, ILO, that we are a member of, to be able to develop what we call job impact assessment for every specific action of government.
And about 15 shops and 10 vehicles are being destroyed by fire at Suame magazine in Kumasi Saturday night. Property worth thousands of Ghana cedis were set ablaze. Here's a report by correspondent Benjamin Adu.
The fire started at about 9 p.m. Saturday. About 15 spare parts shops within the Suame magazine enclave were gutted. Other items which were destroyed in the inferno included vehicles, spare parts, engine lubricants, corn mills and undisclosed sums of money. The fire was reported to have started in a mechanic shop and spread to other shops. Some affected persons were seen scavenging the debris Sunday morning. Abdul Nazir is a spare parts dealer in the area.
At our section, spare parts worth almost 300,000 cedis got destroyed in the inferno.
Getting to old 3 billion. The assemblyman for Tafun Shaeso electoral area, Alhaji Muhammad Gambo, said the fire caused extensive damage before personnel or the fire service arrived. But speaking in a telephone interview, Deputy Chief Fire Officer in charge of the Shanti region, Sameko Kweku Fiajo, said the timely intervention of their personnel averted the fire from spreading to other shops and vehicles.
And that's it for News at 10. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the crew here, good night.